Hi everybody, Simon here, and I want to tell you how to use stories, no matter how reluctantly, to change people's minds in your presentations, even when facts aren't working. So the reason that facts aren't working is because those facts probably are challenging something called an identity variable. What's an identity variable? An identity variable is something that people believe about themselves so much it becomes part of their very soul and identity. And if you challenge those, it's as though you are physically threatening them. So, for example, I look in the mirror and I see somebody who is 6 feet tall, give or take, white, male, grey hair, 58-year-old, all of that kind of stuff. Breathtakingly good looking, obviously, kind of goes without saying. But suppose I looked in the mirror and actually what I saw was a 5'2" Asian woman with curly hair, okay, dark curly hair. Now, one of two things could happen. Either I could go, gosh, everything I thought I knew about myself was nonsense. I'm actually a 5'2" woman with curly hair. Or I could go, I know I'm a 6 foot tall bloke. The mirror must have been fixed in some way. Somebody's trying to cheat to me. Somebody's trying to fake it to confuse me. The mirror is fibbing. And effectively, what I would do then would be rejecting the facts. And I have to reject the facts because those facts fly in the face of what I know. Okay, so now we know that we should be using bypassing identity variables and we know what the hell they are. Let's just see what that looks like. It looks like this. I'm going to call this little chap Robert. I have no idea why I call him Robert, but in my head he's Robert. And the idea is that Robert's wrong and your presentation is going to move Robert from the wrong to the right. So you simply give Robert some facts and way off he goes. Very grateful. Only it's not like that. Not in the real world. Let's just put Robert back in the wrong. Because in the real world, what often happens is that you give Robert some facts, he starts to move to the right, and then, the identity variables raise their ugly heads. Now, I've used the mirror here to represent the story that I was telling you earlier on of me looking in the mirror. So here is what you should do instead. Instead of going head to head with Robert's facts versus his identity variables, you need to bypass the mirror. You need to sneak your way around it, and stories are the way that you do that. Because what you do is, you give Robert a story in which he's the hero, or at least there is a hero with which Robert identifies, and that hero needs to be sufficiently similar for Robert for that to happen. His circumstances need to be sufficiently similar and all of that kind of jazz. But importantly, it needs to be sufficiently different so that Robert isn't threatened. His identity variables aren't triggered. He doesn't go into fight or flight mode. And here you can see I've used a very silly cartoon, but you could use a case study of something historical or a different company or the same company in a different country or whatever you like. But the hero then goes from being wrong to being right, and that allows Robert to infer back to the real world what right should be. Now, it might not happen in the presentation. It might take a couple of days or even weeks afterwards. But if you've done it right, you have bypassed Robert's identity variables using a story instead of facts. Very, very simple, but simple doesn't always mean easy. Massively massively powerful. So here is a silly personal example, because I once screwed up in a presentation for some people because I saw that somebody was being triggered. Okay, so I was standing there telling them about the VAC model. Now, the VAC model stands for Visual, Auditory, Kinesthetic. It's the idea that people learn in one of those three ways. It's TOSH, utter, absolute TOSH. And I've got the data, and I was throwing the data at people, and I could see somebody going, But because I'm stroppy, I then focused on this person and went, here's more data, here's more data, here's more data. And of course, nothing was happening. It turns out that I was triggering an identity variable of this person's because they sold VAC tests. And I was going to them, what you're doing is nonsense, is tosh. So at this point, they've got two options. They can go, option one, you're right, Simon, I will stop doing what I'm doing and I will close my company and do something else and give back all the money I've taken in the last 20 years. Or option two, they can go, la, 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 the mirror is fixed. I can't hear you, you're lying, I reject your data. What I should have done was used a story to bypass that immediate threat. I didn't. Screwed up. Okay, so that's it. Stay safe, have fun, take care, and if you want to use your stories, and you should in your presentations, no matter how reluctantly, you know what to do.